Now I've been in New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
I got some out in Dallas, now I'm smelling like LA. Met a from Miami to the Machiavelli. Left the kids on the belly, left the vid on my celly. She ate like spaghetti, I'm hitting gas and Dreddy. Met some killers in Memphis, like they from Oakland. Give me my flowers while I can smell them. Ain't talking about roses, literally I'm lean. Mix it like a bought it in Nashville. Then I woke up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's sun, California, but nothing like Compton. It's more like Calistoga and it's hot as Arizona. I pop me up Fresno, hard colder than Minnesota in October. Don't interrupt, darling, I'm in the zone. Why does everywhere I go just remind me of home? You know that state of gold with the bed. Them other places come close, but they don't compare. Now I've been in New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
California, cause there's no place like California.
Fresh off a flight to Boston, got a BZ in Maryland that I pipe too often. Headed right to Austin, most likely flossing. Tight, exhausted, high as a forklift. Handful of goons out in Colorado. Any given afternoon, you can catch a hollow. Honestly, it's the same out in Richmond, Virginia or California. Either state, you can get it. I done seen everywhere from Russia to Delaware. Trust me, I'm well aware. Barcelona to Bel Air, Petty to the Detroit. Don't tell him he saw how heavily he balls. Every project, every seashore. And I ain't content trying to see more nomadic. I probably wind up alone. All it takes is a melody to remind me of home. Now I've been in New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
C-A all day. C-A D-M-V-M-I-A, all reminds me of C-A. Sean.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. The stakes have been raised here in the wild card round as it's time to win or get an early start on the offseason. It's the Panthers going up against the Vikings. So with that, let's get up to the new U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. On the call, here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
We are at the newest stadium in the NFL, and its inaugural year. There's a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. Tonight, it's the NFC's turn to take center stage as we've got a wild card matchup on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken in the end zone. And last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. Peterson alone in the backfield. Now Bridgewater. Johnson with a completion over the middle. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Let's go. Blue 58. Blue 58. Check 59.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now the defense definitely showing blitz here. A first carry now for Adrian Peterson. And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on 1st down.
Let's go. Way 90. Way 90.
They run again on 1st down. Peterson. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Here's the offense, and when you talk about this offense, you certainly have to talk about all-day AP, Adrian Peterson.
Does not shy away from contact. Also has the speed to go the distance. It's the rare combination that you get from one of the great runners of all time in the NFL. 2,000 yards every year is the goal. I'd never bet against him.
It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering you, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
Fresh set of downs here. They go play action here on 1st down. Flushed out right. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. Touchdown, Vikings! Adrian Peterson, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
Now a first down throw for Newton. Surveying the field. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Here's Newton now on 2nd down. Right back for Marshall. This time it's complete. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Well, they Trying to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackle.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage. Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. 3rd and 2, Newton gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. Well, the coaches mentioned they weren't as concerned about big play offense. They thought they could get some shorter, quicker stuff and be consistent, and that's kind of what they showed there.
What they saw in preparation, what they saw on film, is a defense that likes to get out fast in terms of coverage, meaning they either bail out or they give them a lot of space to throw the underneath stuff, so they decided to take advantage of it and worked on it hard in practice this week.
And he's brought down. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Brian Robinson, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. They fake the give. Newton. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Kelvin Benjamin has to be a feature of this offense that's on your screen now.
Definitely a #1 receiver, a huge target with some speed. It's almost like go-go gadget when he goes up to get the football. No matter how you defend him, he can go just a little bit higher.
Third and long, it's Newton. Finding time. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that 3rd down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a 1st down.
3rd time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on 3rd, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
On 1st down, Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 14 there. And it'll be 1st down, Panthers. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up. Now Newton on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
On 2nd and 10, Newton. Benjamin with it over the middle. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. His pass caught at the 4. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line, right around the 2. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker. All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense, but in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass, excellent job, way to knock it down.
Second and goal from the 2-yard line. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Now the Panthers get set, 3rd and goal.
And the defense has to account for Cam Newton on this play.
And Newton's going to keep it. No gain on the play. And what to do now on 4th and goal? The offense is going to stay out there. We'll see what the play call is. They need to find the right one here on 4th and goal. On 4th down, Newton under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
Tie right. Be ready. Way 90.
Again, Peterson. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks, so you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker, and on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball, and he made a nice tackle.
Defense in a good spot. Let's see how the offense responds with a 2nd and 13 now.
Let's go. Blue 58.
2nd down, Bridgewater. Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. 3rd down now.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
And the offense looking to pick up the 1st down after the 2nd down incompletion. 3rd and long for Bridgewater. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Vikings. Walsh now for the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. As So we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position where we were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. On 1st and 10, Newton. Flush to his right. And that's going to be incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target. And now it's 2nd down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
He's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. And he goes in motion here in the backfield. 2nd and 10, Newton again. And caught left side, Olsen. And he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yep. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. They come out here in the eye. Play clock winding down. They go play, and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Eric Kendricks coming in hard on the blitz. He gets him down for a loss of 4. And now the offense will look to respond after the sack. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. And to the tight end, Olsen, right side. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be 3rd down. Two minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more NFC playoff action after this. So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
And the back goes into motion. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good. So they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now it's a bootleg with Bridgewater. And complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And they'll get him down here at the 23. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Throwing is Bridgewater. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
He's got time in the pocket. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. On first down, it's Newton. Eluding the pressure right. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic, this is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field? Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it, or maybe change what they do on offense.
And that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Halfback sent in motion. Third and long, it's Newton. Gets it to Benjamin, it's caught. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And now a first down following that long gain. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Now a play fake here on first down. He's got time. Steps away to his left. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. Good job by the O-line. Quarterback had time to go through his checks. That's one you need to take advantage of.
A perfect situation, and they're unable to take advantage of it. When you have that much time to scan the field, you have to find an open receiver.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. Again, Newton. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's third and goal. Now Newton on third and goal. Dancing to his left. And he's got his receiver. That's Ginn for a Carolina touchdown. Ted Ginn in the final seconds of the first half. And the Panthers are able to get this back within a touchdown. And that one makes it 14-7. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So we come upon halftime here in this NFC wildcard matchup as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. He was trying to get it that time to Ted Ginn, and that'll bring up second down.
The good signal callers will never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
On 2nd and 10, Newton. And Olsen over the middle. Give him 8 on the play, and all of a sudden here it's third down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Offense coming up, needing 2 yards on third down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. To throw on second, and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Eric Kendricks in there to get him the 6th time they've sacked him tonight. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. So a big sack on 2nd down. Now let's see what the offense has in store for 3rd. From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
3rd down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Michael Pruitt, the big tight end, his intended receiver. Now fourth down. Here's Brandon Fields now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Now it's Ginn. Now Newton on first down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. No gain, and it's second down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Newton looking to throw on 3rd and 1. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. Now a first down throw for Newton. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Nothing on that one. It'll be second down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. Throwing again is Newton. Right back for Marshall. This time it's complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Time running out here on the play clock. Again, Newton. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Greg Olsen with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Panthers are now an extra point away from tying up this game. Gano for the extra point. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
The second down throw for Bridgewater. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass.
Let's go.
And they're definitely showing blitz here. Bridgewater fakes a give to Peterson. And this is going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And now it's 4th down. Here's Brandon Fields now as he's on to punt for Minnesota.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
That confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. They'll come out in the pistol. And they'll run it here. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. So the offense looking at a 2nd and 8. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. It's complete right side to Benjamin. And all the way down to the 9. A big play that time. Newton to Benjamin. 42 yards.
Similar to a slant, it's all about timing when you're throwing a crossing route. Quarterback and receiver have to be in sync, and when they put it on them just right and catch it full speed, running through a defense, can often result in a big pickup of yardage.
From the gun, here's Newton. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the linebacker, Chad Greenway, with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Following the interception. Here's Bridgewater. He'll buy some time right. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
That was good coverage, but it was an even better catch. Great job by both of them, but only one of them ultimately was the winner coming down with the football.
First down, here's a run with Peterson. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
That was a nice play by the defense, but the offense can't let that one play define them. Let it go, move on, and start over again.
Three receivers to the left, one to the right. Bridgewater now on second down. Left side caught by Diggs. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a third down. The defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot.
Third and long for Bridgewater. And complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to make it fourth down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Tie game, fourth quarter, and they're going for this thing on fourth down. Now Bridgewater on fourth down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Mike Zimmer got to be unhappy with how that turned out. And the Panthers will get the football back. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? A big play there on the screen pass. 31 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody has that ability, they want them on their team.
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. They come out here in the eye. The play clock's running down. Here's Newton now on second down. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Linval Joseph in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. And the Vikings are going to beef up their secondary here. 6 DBs on third. Play clock winding down. 3rd and long. It's Newton. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. Touchdown, Carolina. Kelvin Benjamin with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Panthers have broken our tie as they take the lead. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. To throw, Bridgewater. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's brought down. They'll get 16 yards there. And it'll give the Vikings a first.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They'll come out in the pistol. Now Bridgewater. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. No gain on the play there. It'll be second down. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
They come up in an offset eye. The second down throw for Bridgewater. He's going to walk, and this will be caught at the 30. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. His second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And I think I saw that right. You tell me if I'm wrong. That was just a fly route, just to go. He went.
Sometimes speed, just pure speed, is going to win. I don't care how athletic you are on the other side of the ball. When a guy's that fast and he can just take off, if the quarterback has time to throw the ball and release it when he wants to, that's the end result. Nothing you could do about that. He was just a better athlete on that play.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he will be stopped here for no gain, and then it's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Newton to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
Offense in a little bit of a bind here. 9 yards to go on 3rd down. Now it's Newton. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Here's Andy Lee now as he's on to punt for Carolina. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Bridgewater. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he's brought down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Let's go.
A 10th carry now for Peterson. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. No gain, and it's 2nd down. Here's Bridgewater. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. A very solid gain of 27. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Let's go.
Bridgewater to throw. For the catch made by Johnson. There he goes, right side. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. They come out here in the eye. And here we go on 1st and goal. They'll run with Peterson. The Panthers are going to take another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Now Bridgewater. This will be caught just inside the 10. It'll be a gain of 4. And that is going to set up 3rd and goal.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way. And really, we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
And they'll try and burn some clock with a sneak. No gain on the play. And what to do now on 4th and goal?
They gain nothing, and all they need are inches. Usually we put this on the offensive line, but sometimes it's the quarterback's fault as well on the sneak. You've got to get low and burrow.
Usually we talk about O-line surge, their D-line surge leading to 4th. So nothing of importance there, just the season on the line, and he puts it home to likely get him through to the division round.
If you're a fan, you're watching this one with your hands over your eyes. But if you're a kicker, this is what you practice for all season long. And this one was never in doubt.
Carolina getting set to take the field. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. 1 to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary, but you're trying to get the first one.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Terrence Newman with a pick. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. The clock cannot be stopped. Your defense can't do anything. So kneel it down, take it home.
No doubt about it. It's what you practice for in winning situations each and every week. Victory formation. Take a knee and go on into the locker room and celebrate.
Call it a victory. They go down to a knee, and that will do it. They are moving on here in the playoffs. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.